shocked.
Welcome back, Crackle Addicts. I'm Lupine Fiasco. This is Daily FaB Gameplay, and today we are playing Aurora Shooting Star. For anyone who is new to the channel, what we do here is review replays of games I played on the Talishar.net client days or weeks ago, after enough time has passed that I lose my bias and can more objectively judge the quality of my games. I will talk through turn cycles as if I were taking them now, explaining my thought processes for the lines I would take, and compare that to the lines I did take. We either learn from my mistakes or reinforce good play patterns with the overall goal of tightening and optimizing our gameplay in the future, taking down paper events, and walking away with that shiny, shiny cardboard. If you would like to check out the deck I'm playing here or try it for yourself on Talishar, there is a FaB deck link in the video description below. While you're down there, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. It is the best free way to support me and to make sure that you see daily FaB gameplay in your video feed 5 days a week. If you'd like to engage further, there is a link to my Twitter, to my Discord, and to my Patreon. Without further ado, let's jump right into the action. The theme of today's game is evaluating the overall value of your hand, which is honestly something that I should know how to do by now, but am paying a lot more attention to doing going forward. It isn't something I do enough, which is just deciding before blocks what is the most value I can get from 4 cards, then 3 cards, 2, and even 1, and either attacking or blocking based on that. The mistake in this game is going to be thinking that because the Levia matchup is so fast, that I cannot afford to ever block. But as we'll see, there are a few instances where blocking generates more value and preserving life total buys me time to find combo pieces. This is a combo matchup just based on Levia being able to outrace us. If you can put your Arc Lightning Flicker Wisp combo together, you're going to deal a ton of damage that she cannot keep up with, especially if she is on AB0. So having lost the die roll, we will be going first. We are simply going to pitch Electromagnetic Somersault and Flittering Charge into Grasp of the Arknight. We're going to play Sigil of Lightning and Arsenal Static Shock. On our next turn, Sigil turns into an Embodiment. Static Shock represents 4 damage at minimum and 5 damage if we can draw into another lightning card, which we have done. Levia coming in with just Ghostly Visit. If we look at the cards in our hand plus the Static Shock in our arsenal, considering that we do not want to play Flicker Wisp this turn, we would like to arsenal it. We can see that if we play Sizzle, follow up with Static Shock, that is representing 8 with Go Again. The Static Shock is on. We can play Entwine Lightning, fusing it with Gone in a Flash to give it Go Again, and finally play Gone in a Flash. With the Rune Chant we have on board, that's a 4-card 16. We are fairly resilient to Fleshbag, even if our Gone in a Flash gets banished. We could just pitch Flicker Wisp into Starfall and then Arsenal Gone in a Flash, or pitch Flicker Wisp into Aurora, so we're not going to block. Sigil turns into an Embodiment, play Sizzle, play Static Shock, play Entwine, play Gone in a Flash, Arsenal, Flicker Wisp. I think that is the perfect sequence, and that is in fact what I am going to do. Notably, our math changes based on Scowling Fleshbag. We always need to be aware in making blocking decisions whether Fleshbag significantly impacts the output of our turn, and if it does, then we may even want to block differently to play around it. If Fleshbag gets used on our combo turn, we're still going to push a ton of damage, so we just want to make sure that we're playing crisp and clean up to that point. We get blocks out of Levia, including the Who's of the Shadow Beast and Savage Sash. So this is pretty good for us. We know that Levia's crackback is not going to be all that impressive, and we even get to push a little damage. So here we have a hand where, based on this being 11 damage, 7 between Shadow Realm Horror and then 4 with Ghostly Visit, we need to consider the Flesh Bag, and we need to consider what we're doing with this hand. So if we played out 5 cards, we could play Flicker Wisp, fuse it with Burn Up, then play Burn Up Shock. That's 4 damage overall. Now our hand is Sizzle, Gone in a Flash, E-Strike. That doesn't actually work very well. We would likely pitch Sizzle into Starfall to attack for 2 go again. Levia blocks it with Flesh Bag, and if we get unlucky and it banishes the Gone in a Flash, we only have an E-Strike that we can't play. But even if we do get to keep Gone in a Flash, we banish E-Strike, we attack for 4, Levia gives us Bone Breaker and a card from hand. So we only take 1 card from Levia, she gets to keep 3. We don't push Burn Up through, and we have just spent one of our combo pieces. So we probably don't want to just no block here. We don't want to take 11. Even if we're playing out 4 cards and we're sitting on Flicker Wisp, we just don't have a good way to use 4 cards. We take our same exact line, we just don't pitch the, we don't use the Flicker Wisp. So now our line is play Burn Up, play Sizzle, pitch E-Strike to Starfall, and then Levia gives us a 3 block from hand, and Flesh Bag, we lose our Gone in a Flash. So overall, this is to say that keeping 4 cards is not very good for us. What is our best value on 3 cards? Well, we have an E-Strike that can bottom Sizzle for 7. So right off the bat, we're looking at a 2-card 7, and we block with Gone in a Flash and Burn Up for 6. So we take 5 damage this turn, 1 from Shadow Realm, 4 from Ghostly Visit. We crack back with E-Strike for 7, and then just keep our Flicker Wisp and hope to draw into Arc Lightning on our next turn. With 3 cards, our best line is going to be play Burn Up Shock and then E-Strike for 7. And that line maybe has some validity to it. We push 8 damage. Overall, that threatens 12. We tell Levia she is going to give us 2 cards from hand plus Bone Breaker if she wants to prevent the Burn Up effect. But I think it is more likely better for us if we just block 6, block with Gone in a Flash, block with Burn Up, send E-Strike for 7, effectively get a 4-card 13. If we could get a 4-card 16, because Levia takes the E-Strike and Burn Up, that would be much better, but we can't rely on Levia doing that. She has Bone Breaker she can give, she has a bunch of 3 blocks, and this is where we start to see me making mistakes based on thinking that this is a no-blocks aggro race, and it really isn't. Having not blocked the Shadow Realm, the best way to use this hand is to block Ghostly Visit with Gone in a Flash, take 1 point of damage, and then Burn Up E-Strike. The problem with keeping 4 cards is that we cannot reliably use them in the face of Flesh Bag. If Levia doesn't have Flesh Bag here, we can play Burn Up, play Sizzle, pitch E-Strike to Starfall, and then attack with Gone in a Flash, and we're not guaranteed to hit, but we are at least taking multiple cards out of Levia's hand, and maybe that's good enough. But because of Flesh Bag, because we are specifically looking for a combo, we don't want to take damage to fire off suboptimal turns. We want to maximize our value, which in this case would have meant keeping our Flicker Wisp for when we find the combo, and then blocking in such a way that we aren't punished by Flesh Bag. We preserve life, and we do not put ourselves in a position to just waste a Burn Up. We've wasted a Burn Up, we've wasted a Flicker Wisp, and that kind of just really sucks. So draw into another Flicker Wisp here. You've got a very weird looking hand, and we need to decide how we want to play with it. we can play Entwine Lightning, fuse with Gone and Flash to give it go again. We assume that Levia is not going to block. We get to play Channel Lightning Valley and draw a card. Now our hand is Gone in a Flash, Flicker Wisp, a mystery card, and the arsenal is Gone in a Flash. So with that, assuming we draw into something that doesn't have go again, let's say it's Lightning Surge, or another copy of Gone in a Flash, we could pitch Gone in a Flash to attack with Starfall. We could then play Gone in a Flash from Arsenal and take an intellect penalty. But we do have a lightning card in our pitch that we get to bottom to Channel Lightning Valley. We have a Flicker Wisp. We're ready to fire off our combo. So there is a way to convert 4 cards here, but let's say that we didn't want to take the risk of drawing that card without go again and kind of brick up our hand to take that IP. If we block with Gone in a Flash, we prevent 3. Now our turn is play Entwine Lightning, fuse with Channel Lightning Valley. We are showing Levia that we do have the ability to draw a card. So she either doesn't block the Entwine, we play Channel Lightning Valley, draw a card, and now our turn makes a lot more sense. Or she blocks the Entwine Lightning, then we attack with Gone in a Flash, which she might block as well, and if she does, we pitch Channel Lightning Valley into Aurora, make an embodiment, and then Arsenal Flicker Wisp. If we're going to play Channel Lightning Valley, we need to be able to put a lightning card into our pitch zone. Channel Lightning just replacing itself is not quite the effect we're looking for. So we know there's going to be a follow-up to this pulping. We don't need to make this decision now. In fact, we probably don't want to, in case the follow-up is another send packing or command and conquer. So we can take this 6, just being aware that we do have a way to convert 5 cards here, or at least we have a way to convert 4 cards, but it's a little iffy based on what we draw off the top of our deck, and because of that, I would actually like to block with Gone in a Flash here. Let's cover 5, we'll take 3, we play Entwine, fuse Channel Lightning Valley. At minimum, we are getting a 3-card 8 with an embodiment and putting a combo piece into our arsenal. Taking the more aggressive line here of not blocking with Gone in a Flash makes us very reliant on the top of our deck, either it having go again or it being a blue that we can pitch into Aurora if we want to convert 4 cards. So we'll lead with the Entwine Lightning. This happens no matter what. Whether Levia blocks or doesn't is going to inform what this Channel Lightning Valley is doing, but let's assume she isn't going to block, and we will play Channel Lightning and see what our turn looks like. Draw into a Lightning Surge, which is a pretty bad draw for us, considering that we want to hold on to this Flicker Wisp. What we can do is Starfall for 2 go again, pitching Gone in a Flash. We play Gone in a Flash from Arsenal, and then just Arsenal Lightning Surge, take an intellect penalty, but we would otherwise be pitching Flicker Wisp into Aurora, making an embodiment, but we don't need the embodiment because we have a Lightning Surge in Arsenal. So at least we're holding on to a combo piece, we're not putting it into our arsenal in case we get hit by a command and conquer that we don't want to protect against. And Lightning Surge has go again. So it does put us into a position to be able to pop off, but we are seeing that it ended up being a little more awkward having that Gone in a Flash in hand. I would rather have 3 more life. If I could take 3 more life here, that'd be fantastic. This line is fine. We are playing to a Gone in a Flash synergy. We sort of kind of get punished in that we draw into a blink, so we don't necessarily need the embodiment of lightning. Levia playing Endless Maw, breaking hooves, so we know there is a follow-up to this. We can take 9 and go down to 4 and just see what the next thing is. But what we are looking at here, I would not want to play Shock on Levia's turn. Yes, we deal a point of damage, Shock replaces itself. The issue with that is we are steadily coming to the end of this game. We haven't seen an Arc Lightning yet. I really want to use Iron Weave and Gold, and to do that we need to play an on-attack action on our turn, which Burn Up is. So I want to take 9 here. We will get to convert this hand. And we can walk through that very quickly. We can play Burn Up Shock on our turn. We deal 1 point of damage. We draw a card from Channel Lightning Valley. We don't know what that is. We play Lightning Surge from hand. It gets go again from our embodiment of lightning and threatens 8 damage overall. However, Levia blocks. We break the chain. We use our Aether Iron Weave to generate 2 resources. We use those 2 resources to break our gold and draw a card. We don't want to pitch Blink because we want to use it on our Gone in a Flash. So between those 3 cards, we want to keep all of them, and then Ravenous Rabble is just 4 with go again. So we can convert 5 cards here, and we can do it very well, which means that we are going to block this Beast Within for 3, go down to 1, playing a little in the danger zone, but we are anticipating, or at least hoping, that Levia does not have Reckless Swing. But the mistake here is playing the Burn Up Shock. Yes, it replaces itself, and a lot of the time that will be a fine value because you are likely to draw a 0 for 4 from your deck. We have a lot of them. But because we have Iron Weave Gold, we really wanted that non-attack action, and now we cannot break Iron Weave. If we played Burn Up Shock, we would deal the same amount of damage, we would have the same exact hand, but we would be floating 4 more damage and be able to use Iron Weave Gold. So, considering that that didn't happen, I want to play Lightning Surge, swing for 4, see if it hits. The follow-up would be Ravenous Rabble. At that point, if I haven't drawn yet, I'm probably looking at pitching Blink into Starfall. I attack for 2, I get to make an embodiment, attack with Gone in a Flash, and then end with Snatch. And I'm expecting at some point something will have hit. So the opening line should be Lightning Surge. I would like to end with Snatch. I don't want to start with it because now Levia just knows she has to block. So another big misplay, the biggest misplay being that we cannot break our Iron Weave. We are very dependent on 1, drawing from Channel Lightning Valley, and 2, having it be a very specific draw in a non-attack action. But we have also led with a Snatch. We don't have a ton of great options. Playing Gone in a Flash, then blinking it, both uses our blue and really commits us to a certain line. I would like to play Ravenous Rabble next. It reveals what's on top of our deck, potentially puts Levia into a position where she blocks. That said, if Levia gives us 2 cards or a card and Savage Sash, it's fantastic. We do hit, we do draw an Entwine Lightning, so we will get to play Entwine Lightning, fuse it with Lightning Surge, fuse it with Gone in a Flash, which Levia knows we have, play Ravenous Rabble, pitch Lightning Surge to Starfall, and then play Gone in a Flash. So overall, we are threatening 14 points of damage. Levia does need to give us at least 1 card to stay alive. But, as we can see, had we played the Burn Up Shock, we would have been able to draw this exact same hand, but Levia would also be at 2 right now. So she would have to give us a card to stop Starfall, and then she would have to give us a card to not die to Gone in a Flash. And we would be in a much, much better position. The game would very likely be over. And instead, because we used that Burn Up, we are not able to break our Aether Iron Weave, and because we didn't block appropriately, we don't have a life total that we can play with. And you're about to see that this Deadwood Rumbler attacks for 7. if we had 3 more life to play with, because let's say we blocked with that Gone in a Flash that we IP'd ourselves with, then we could just block this with Static Shock and Lightning Surge, go to 1, then play Flicker Wisp, fuse it with Burn Up, and then play Shock and deal 4 arcane damage to Levia. That just kills her. So a lot of mistakes leading up to this point. It is still a very close game, which is something that makes me feel very confident about Aurora as a hero, that even heavily misplayed, she can make this a real game. But we should have already won this game. This game should already be over. And here we are having to fight for our lives. We need to give 3 cards. We're going to keep this Lightning Surge, attack Levia with it, hope that we end up in a position where she either can't block it or has to give multiple cards and then takes Blood Debt and somehow dies to herself. But we are in a very bad spot. And we're in a bad spot with equipment left over, which really tells us one of 2 things: that variance was very much against us in that we just didn't draw an opportunity to either Ironweave Gold, but as is the case in this game, we had plenty of opportunity to either Ironweave Gold, and we just didn't use it. We didn't see it. And I could say that I tunnel visioned on trying to find that Flicker Wisp Arc Lightning combo. Was really hoping for that. Oh, we didn't draw Arc Lightning this game. What a tragedy. We really could have won had we just drawn better, but we didn't need to have drawn better. We drew very well to win this game, and we just didn't see the lines that we had to take. Which is why I was very excited to be able to review this game. I knew that I screwed up, but I didn't quite know how, and I am very lucky to be able to look back on it and see it and say, you know what? We absolutely tunnel visioned on a few things. We can fix that going forward. We will just die here. We cannot cover all of this damage. And that is going to be the game. We had plenty of opportunity to win, and we just didn't. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I learned a lot from this game. I'm learning a lot from all of my Aurora games, which is a big reason that I'm excited for the hero, because I really enjoy playing her. She's a lot of fun, and she's teaching me a lot. I feel like she is a very strong deck, and through fixing some slight sequencing mistakes, I could be getting a lot more power out of my turns, and I'm excited to be able to capitalize on that going into ProQuest season. So if you did learn something from this video like I did, be sure to zap that like button. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to me on YouTube. It is the best free way to support me. You can leave any questions or feedback in the comments down below. My video description has my Twitter, my Discord, my Patreon, and until the next time I see you on Daily FaB Gameplay, take care.